Welcome to the Venture Vault. I'm Michael Benatar, and today I'm super excited to talk to Idan Speiser of 911 Restoration. Hopefully, I got that correct. I'm excited to talk
Good.
to you today. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm great. And you? How are you?
I'm really good. So, tell me a little bit about the company and how you got it started, and then we can kind of dive in a little more into that.
Yeah, so 91 Restoration is a water, mold, and fire damage restoration company. We are a franchise organization. Today, we have about 120 owners. We're covering around 300 territories around the US, growing into Canada. We just had
Cool.
3 new locations in Canada. Yeah, how
Yeah.
it
Cool.
started. So, yeah, as you said, I'm the founder of the company. As you hear
Yeah.
my accent, I'm originally from Israel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, moved here right after I finished my service, saved about $1,000, worked as a bellboy, came to the United States really with the idea of, money grows on the trees.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the movies
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Sure.
Israel, right? So
Yeah.
coming here for the American dreams.
That's awesome.
Didn't really speak the language, didn't really know anybody, just landed here trying to figure things out. Got into carpet cleaning. From carpet cleaning, really kind of discovered the world of water, mold, and fire.
Yeah.
Then I figure out how to generate lead through online, sales strategies, unique customer experience. After Katrina happened is where it was a devastation, but I had an
Yeah.
opportunity to meet a lot of other business owner, restoration company owners, and I noticed something that I was able to scale my business to north of $3 million in about 2 years. Just really
That's awesome.
understanding the lead generation and strategies and on
Sure.
and on. But when I went out there, I saw, wow, there's amazing guys and girls in the business that's really looking to help people when they go through a disaster. But they are so passionate about the blowers and the humidifiers and how to cut the drywalls and on and
Yeah.
on and on. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, you guys are stuck at 500,000 in revenue, 700,000 in revenue. I understand now because you're focusing really just on the
Yeah.
trade part. So that's where I got the idea of maybe we can start creating some level of collaboration. And, I signed some license agreement, worked
Yeah.
very well. I saw people really growing in their business. And then a friend, a lawyer, came to me and says, listen, you are becoming a franchise. You cannot operate as a license agreement anymore. And I'm like, what is a franchise? What do you
Yeah.
mean? Right. And that's how we got into the journey of
Cool.
franchise, build support system, bringing in the right people, the team, adding more franchisee. Yeah, I love the space.
That's awesome. Side note, I actually just went to Israel about 2 years ago. We did a honeymoon Israel trip. It was like me and
Oh,
my wife and a whole group of
nice.
people. It was a great time. A lot of fun out there.
Where in Israel?
We kind of did it all. We were in Jerusalem, then Tel Aviv, a little, Dead Sea action,
Nice.
Masada. Yeah, we kind of did
Oh,
the
awesome.
highlights of it
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Yeah. It was nice. It was a lot of fun. It was like the one time the Dead Sea like had waves because there was like some big storm in the area. And it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
usually
So
it's
yeah,
yeah.
usually it's pretty still.
Nice.
But yeah, I love it out there.
Nice.
So I want to talk to you about, okay, so now you're in franchise mode, and how does that work with you at the hierarchy kind of it, and you put in all the systems in place? How hard was it to kind of build out those systems for everybody else? Because I think that's the hard part, right? You want to make sure that everybody is
Yeah.
keeping the standard of what you kind of achieved by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a one-time thing that we set up a system and that's it, because things are
Yeah.
changed all the time. Lead generation change, and the market change. There's so many things that keep moving and evolving. So it's first of all, I mean, the great part that I came to the business from carpet cleaning to,
Hmm.
a small restoration company, and I grew the company over time, even though I scaled the company pretty fast, but I
Yeah.
had my own experience, being on the truck, doing the work, going through
Hmm.
the hiring process, building a team. So I had my own experience. So it's
Yeah.
easy for us to relate and really understand the life of our franchisee and what he's going through, right? But so every time that we see something that worked great, now we build a process around it, right? And then we evolve it over time. So we have great processes around local business development, how to improve conversion, how to work with insurance adjusters, with managers, and on and on. So for us, is really we're looking for a great guy, great attitude, right? As our franchisee,
Yeah.
really have empathy, really understand that our customer is going through an emotional disaster, and then the ability to build a very strong support system around him. right? So when he's tackling a $500 job or a
Sure.
$100,000 job or $1 million job, I have the right team, the right processes. So it's a challenge. I just see it today as part of the business, right?
Yeah.
That's, as a franchisor, our goal, and it really works that way, because this is how we grow, is making sure that we're choosing the right franchisees and we really have the
Yeah.
right support system around them. And this is continuous of training and communication and really understanding. Look, I mean, we have franchisees that been in the restoration space for many years. We have people that came from the corporate world.
Mhm.
We have people that came from accounting firm, right? Not even connect to the restoration. So we need to understand each one of them, making sure that they have the right mindset, but also kind of customize the support and the people that
Sure.
specific franchisee is going to need, right? And
And
then
out.
yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, then there is a specific KPIs, right? So we want to make sure that we know what is a healthy growth. Look,
Mhm.
we understand that, look, a franchisee buys into a franchise, if the cost will be 150 or more, 150K a year,
Yeah.
a one-time investment, not a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to make sure that he see a very healthy return on investment, right? The last thing that we
Sure.
want to have is a franchisee that put all his money in and now he's freaking out for 6,
Yeah.
7, 8 months, right? So we want to make sure that we really put in the right KPI and we're setting up the right expectation. It's a
And
very important part of the franchise system.
and how many franchisees do you have now? And are you still expanding into new areas in the U.S.
Oh,
or
yeah,
I know
yeah.
you're going to Canada and everything like that, but are you
Yeah,
expanding in the U.S. as well?
absolutely. Yeah, we have about 120 franchise owners. We want to expand to get to about 400 owners, right? We're
Mhm.
not looking to be a system with thousands of franchisees.
Sure.
This is not who we are. Because communication and customer experience is the big thing for us.
Sure.
We are selling an exclusive territories, right? So I don't believe in the idea that, for example, in LA, I'll
Yeah.
sell 30 or 40 licenses and then
Yeah.
let all my franchisee kind of
They all
compete
fight it.
with each
Yeah.
other. Yeah,
Yeah.
because then the customer experience is not there.
Mhm.
I think if somebody comes into our system and really put the right investment and we're really choosing the right franchisees, so we're being very selective with the franchisees that we bring in, right? But the merit between a good system to the right franchisee, building a healthy business, right? And also give the franchisee the sense like, this is your area.
Yeah.
You can really make an impact here, right? Because again, for me, it's always going back to customer experience, right? Understanding who is our customers, what they're
Sure.
going through, right? So on and on. Yeah.
And what are I'm guessing different regions are more expensive to buy into. Like if you wanted to take over LA or something like that. I mean, this is a pretty big region. So
Yeah.
across the country, like say if you're going to make a new one in, I don't know, Nebraska somewhere, what would be kind of my process to go through to become that franchisee in Nebraska and kind of pick out my territory? How does all that work?
Yeah. So first of all, you will start talking with our development team, right? So our development team, we look at the franchise sales process more of an education process,
Sure.
because we're not really. It's not so much of closing a sale, because we're going to be married now for 7 years,
Yeah.
hopefully 14 years and more,
Yeah.
right? So it's not something that I want to force you in.
Mhm.
I want you to do as much homework. I want you to speak with our existing franchisees. I want you to really understand what you're getting yourself into. Because
Mhm.
again, your success is my success, because
Sure.
we have
Yeah.
exclusive territories, right? So somebody will come in, will speak with our development team. It's will be kind of back and forth interview, right? So we want to understand really what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is your experience? Are you looking for something to be in for 2, 3 years, or really
Mhm.
build something meaningful? So there's a lot of back and forth, and we take you through presentation, and there's FDD and on and on.
That's great.
After that part, then there is a final approval by our executive team, right? And this is kind of, okay, we went through the process.
Mhm.
And again, most of the people will clean out through the process,
Sure. Yeah.
right? Because
They'll
we
kind of fall
understand that
off.
they're,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the right thing for them. So once you get to the final approval, it's really where we're getting down to look at the operation team, look at the marketing team. Really, I want you to meet the executive. I want you to meet the managers. I want them to meet you, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like interview between both of us. We call it the discovery day, and then
Sure.
meet the
Yeah.
team day, right? And as we go through all that process, then we design a map. We say, okay, that will be your area, right? So each area that we sell is about 300,000 people
Okay.
called one territory. So
Okay.
usually today we'll sell 1 or 2 territories.
Okay.
When I started, like many franchisors,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, can you join us? Do you want to join us? Okay, choose an area. I make a big circle around it, and this is your area. So this is
Yeah.
how we started many, many years ago. But now because we have national accounts, we have different programs of lead generation. So we want to make sure that many businesses of franchisee, they're trying to go very wide.
Yeah.
Right. And what we're learning, you can go deep,
Yeah.
right? Or really developing the brand in a certain area. And we see that it works so much better. You can have a much bigger impact. You're much more efficient as a business because you don't need to travel that far.
Yeah.
And when you concentrate on a certain area, you can really have an opportunity to build a brand, right? So think if you need to build your brand in an area like LA, metro area, right? 15 million people, you need to invest a lot of money to really build the brand, and it's going to take a long time. But if you're in a small town somewhere with 300,000-400,000 people, much easier, much faster, right? So we're really seeing that our franchisees seeing a lot more success when we are focusing on a certain area and we really work it out.
And so for somebody like me, am I able to kind of be a franchisee even if I'm not local in that area? Is that possible, or do you want people on the ground in that region and know that area really well?
So you don't have to be an operator. So you can be an investor.
Okay.
But then we're going to work with you on let us help you find the right people.
Okay, that's great.
You have to have the right people on ground in that place, building relationship, but also response time is very important. Understanding the market is very important. Yeah, but the opportunity for somebody just to be an investor exists.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because my buddy is kind of looking into this, and he's in Florida, and I thought it was a really interesting opportunity for him, and I was like, oh, it sounds kind of like great. I mean, kind of bad too, because obviously people are their houses are getting destroyed and stuff. But how is it dealing with insurance? Because I thought that was like, I hate dealing with insurance with my own health or even my car or my home. How do you guys handle that? Is that easy for you, or is that a difficult process?
For us today, it's just part of the process. We have our internal team that support our franchisees when it comes to work with insurance, Xactimate, billing, negotiating, if need to, working with commercial account, right? So we develop this department because we understand the franchisee and the difficulties some days, right? We also understand the importance of getting things done fast and right, to make sure that the file is correct. You have all the pictures, you have the documentation, you can support the Xactimate. So we have a whole team that's supporting it. But also from the customer experience for the insurance and the commercial space, we want to make sure that they are not in a position of chasing after our franchisee, right? Because he can be busy with 10 projects and payroll and people and on and on. So that way we created our own internal department.
That's great.
So it's not hard for us because it's something that we do every day, all day. And we've been seeing $500 job to $10 million type of project, right? And everything in between.
And what's the process if I wanted to be an investor in a region? Is that something simple you guys set up, or is that something you kind of have to call in, figure out like where this would actually be an opportunity for somebody?
We need to figure out that it's really the right area for investor to come in.
Okay.
What type of investor, how involved are you planning to be? Now, if we take your example, for example, if you have good understanding of marketing and lead generation, I think we spoke about it for a few seconds before we started, right? So assuming that you have that experience and you're partnering up with somebody that, for example, your buddy, let's say he's looking to open somewhere in Florida, right? So now you can be part investor with him, right? He can be more of the operating side of the business, being there, running the business there every day, and you can support with marketing.
Yeah,
right.
That's great.
There is a big opportunity for a younger generation to come into the home service industry, specifically to the restoration industry, because that industry that we're in, because there's so much new technology that comes in, and many of the old generation that are already in the business having a
Yeah.
hard time with adopting to the new
Yeah.
technologies and a new way of doing things, right? So
Yeah.
when we see somebody younger coming in with this mindset and very easy to deal with, new technology and new way of generating leads, usually they will do very, very well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now for the young generation, restoration is not as sexy
No,
as
it's
being an
not.
influencer on
Sure.
Instagram and TikTok and on, right?
Yeah.
But people can make real money in the home
Yeah.
service space.
And
It
what's kind of the, I don't know, I don't want to call it a margin, but what is kind of the operating cost on just a standard, I guess, franchise, or what's the I don't know, I guess, is there a margin, or is it just like it's cost of labor times whatever the insurance adjuster is going to pay you, or how does it all work?
Yeah, the margin, because of our FDD, I'm not allowed really to share
Sure,
the
sure.
numbers, so I'm going to try to be more general.
Yeah,
But
you
I'll
could be
give you an
broad.
example. I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. A blower, right? Air mover that we're using almost on every job,
Yeah.
right? So we can buy a blower for $150 to $200.
Hmm.
Insurance company pays anywhere from $25 to $30 per day for this
Okay.
piece of equipment.
Okay. I see.
So
Yeah.
in 4 or 5 days, your equipment is paid in full.
Sure.
Some
Yeah.
bigger equipment will take 10 to 12 days. So a big
Interesting.
part of
Okay.
what we do is a rental. We rent equipment, right?
Hmm.
We don't actually rent it, but when we
Sure.
perform work, now we need to leave 10 blowers behind and dews and air scrubbers and on and on. Now you have all these pieces of equipment sitting out, working 24/7, and you
Yeah.
getting paid per day per piece of equipment. After
Mm.
10 days, your equipment is paid in full.
Yeah.
So just will give you kind of taste into
Okay.
our industry.
Yeah.
Now,
And
in
that,
general, the
yeah.
home service industry, because of the older generation that is mainly in the home service industry and not newer generation is not really coming into the industry, it's hard to find good plumber, roofer,
Hmm.
restoration, drywall. So the fees just keep going higher and higher, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's not really hard work to build a business in the home service,
Yeah. But you
but
need
the
to know the skills.
opportunity is real,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of people don't recognize it. Like
Yeah.
I know enough
Yeah.
young people that are in the home service. I'm not
Yeah.
specifically about the restoration, that making 250
Yeah.
$300,000 a year and north of it in their first one,
Yeah.
2, 3 years in the business.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've been on, I have my own business, which I'm maybe on the verge of selling. It's just a dog treat business called Dope Dog, and I kept thinking and listening to all these podcasts and all these entrepreneurs, and it does sound like that shift is coming where kind of the baby boomers are selling off their companies and everybody's going into this, and it isn't sexy. It is like the least sexiest business you can get into. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to restore homes that have been destroyed and mold and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And even, some people are talking about laundromats or just these really boring businesses.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge opportunity for sure if you just look past it.
Huge opportunity. And when you bring that new mindset into the home service, it can be a sexy business.
Sure.
In a
Yeah.
way, because you're interacting with real people.
Yeah.
It's not just everything is online. You're actually meeting clients. You're actually seeing the impact that you have on people's life. When somebody's house is flooded, they're
Yeah.
really going through an emotional disaster. When you
Sure.
show up and you really take care of them, the fulfillment that people feel is amazing. Like I have franchisees. I mean, I just posted something on LinkedIn and one of my franchisees responded like, my job is being there for people when
Yeah.
they need us the most, right? Our impact on other people's life. And so you have an opportunity to make great income. You're
Yeah.
building a real business that you can sell and you can give to your kids at one point, depends what is your goal, right? And you're
Yeah.
actually making an impact on people's life.
Yeah.
That's
No.
the best combination that you can have in really building something meaningful.
It's true. Yeah, it's weird with all these businesses now. Everything's online. You don't get to interact with a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
we're actually both in LA. We didn't know we were both in LA. We could have done this in person. It would have been a lot of fun. But we're doing this virtually, and it does make a lot of things easier. But I think meeting those people, and when I started my dog business, I was going out to farmers markets and events all the time, and I think it helped me understand who my customer was and help them supply them with the products they wanted, because it was like, if I was just doing it online, I'd like get an email that says, oh, my dog doesn't like your treat. But it's like, well, why doesn't your dog like the treat? Like, can you tell me more? And it is something that I think
Exactly.
this younger generation, I mean, I'm 37, almost 38 in a few months, but I do think you're missing it a little bit. And I think COVID kind of helped like push this virtual world on us a lot more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it stopped us from wanting to interact as much. And you see it a lot. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a great business. And I think helping people and making a little money and being able to like support your family with helping other families is a
Yeah.
great job. And I think, you did all the legwork. You got out there and you did all this work ahead of time to figure out a good path for other people to kind of help other people. So
Yeah.
you're doing
Look,
great.
the franchise space is really a great space to be in because we see the collaboration between our franchisees,
Yeah.
right? So you're really part of a family, community, whatever you want to call it, that people actually supporting each other,
Yeah.
right? When you're just in business on your own, who are you going to reach out to? You have to
Yeah.
find a coach, and you need to find the right coach with the right experience. Now you're surrounded by 120 and more other owners, right?
Yeah.
That some of them are your size, some of them are smaller, some of them are two steps ahead of you. And now
Hmm.
you have an insight into a network that really wants you to be successful.
Yeah.
It's
No,
powerful.
I think it's great. I appreciate you coming on the podcast today. If you want to like let anybody know where they can kind of reach out to you if they're interested in maybe, an opportunity of becoming a franchisee, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn, 911 Restoration, my name will come up, Idan Speiser, 911restoration.com. You can find us. Yeah, we're everywhere
Cool.
online. Just type the name of the company, you'll find us.
Cool. I appreciate your time today. Thanks.
Let's go. Thank you.